I mean, it's good to have the purge, and of course with just the disruption, it's a good save. But I mean, Navi went
10
with the Conquer
seconds
pick. I
remaining.
like this a lot because then that disruption save could easily turn out to
5
be just
seconds
a counter
remaining.
initiation tool for Navi.
Yeah.
So at the moment, like Team
Dire
Empire,
team ban.
is there even the potential that they want to run this Pango mid because they pick up the Spectre?
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
liking the lane versatility. Like there's a lot of mining games going on regarding the draft.
yeah, I mean, Pango mid is always an option that you have to have available on your team. So it's either that or offlane mostly.
Mhm.
They do have one more pick coming in,
10
so
seconds
that's the point where
remaining.
we probably see they're gonna pick up another offlaner to try and create some more space for the
5
Spectre, or if
seconds
they
remaining.
have the Pangoli in that position, pick up a mid laner that can pick up the slack there, because Spectre will need a lot of space and time to get to a point where you're comfortable fighting, where you're comfortable actually taking over the game. Um, and I'm not sure if they thought this one through, because Navi, like, what's to stop them from just running the Ursa up against the Spectre? And Shadow Demon is a bit annoying, but early Shadow Poison is not as devastating as it is in later levels. It also costs a lot of mana.
Radiant team
I mean,
ban.
you don't have as many levels, and Oracle can easily purge off a lot of
Yeah.
debuffs into the Ursa. I mean, one thing which Team Empire doesn't have, like you mentioned, is not only disables. They don't exactly have that one frontliner like Pango. It's extremely reliant on levels, extremely reliant on a good start in the lane. Otherwise, fighting from behind this hero is not going to be all too useful. Unless you kind of get to the quick six, then maybe you can kind of try for
10
a few
seconds
rotations here and
remaining.
there. But I'm concerned for Empire because like when you second pick
5
that
seconds
Spectre
remaining.
in the second phase, you leave an opening for Navi to have a very strong offlane. Like or they could just decide to do like a cheese, put the Kunkka against Spectre, but I highly doubt they do so. They've never done that yet. Which Navi could decide to go into picking up, say, maybe the Sven, something which is really good and could even force the Spectre out of lane, I dare say.
Yeah. I could go for that. They just could even go back to the Brewmaster that they've picked. Oh no, never mind. That one's been banned in first phase. But yeah, or any other
Radiant
hero
team
that
pick.
just puts on a little bit of pressure in the off lane, or for that matter, just pick up a safe lane hero that can go on a zone and just go in aggressively against the Spectre and the supports.
I mean, I just realized as well that this could actually be a really good game for either Broodmother or Timber. Because Spectre is
Dire
just going to
team
struggle
pick.
in lane against those. They don't have enough nukes. They pick up the Doom.
Yeah, alright, so
It's okay
that's
against Ursa.
yeah, okay, and it's also good against the Kunkka later down the line, just making sure that he cannot spam his spells as much, but I don't know if that's gonna solve these issues. I mean, this Spectre lane, still see that as super vulnerable, and if Navi don't take advantage of that, then I don't know what's going
10
on.
seconds remaining.
Empire doesn't have the highest win rate on Doom as well.
5
I
seconds remaining.
think it should be okay against Ursa if Shadow Demon can get a good enough harass onto the Ursa, maybe try to burn him out of the lane. I mean, good thing about Shadow Demon is that you can play real greedy. Go back and stack a little bit, let Doom have his own choice of whatever neutral creeps he wants, and then you can just farm the rest up as stacks. But the concern for Empire right now is that regarding their draft, there is very limited options in terms of sieging. Because as a Shadow Shaman, obviously,
Yeah,
the ideal situation is you'll be using your wards for like taking towers. But in this case, Navi, they have the perfect draft for just running at you, like you said.
yeah.
So what's the final hero here? S-
Um,
Do it. Do it, Brood. Go dirty here. Go
Necrophos,
dirty.
Medusa. All right.
Choose
Oh,
your hero.
Dusa. Okay. So
Okay, so both of these teams limited pushing capabilities. I mean, Shadow Shaman is the best objective taker here on the field right now, at least early on. But even with that, as you said, like Empire's gotta be focused on getting the Spectre big. So now we just say, hey, we have perhaps stronger lanes, we have a stronger early game, so we can take an advantage there, and then make sure to fuel up a Medusa quicker than you can fuel up the Spectre. So I think that's the main idea here. And Medusa, yeah, also is very good lane against whoever you're up against.
hmm,
So I kind of like
this
this pick.
10
it's
seconds
it's
remaining.
okay. It's great against Haunt to a certain extent.
5 seconds
I'm
remaining.
actually just very confused about how the lanes are going to be like. But then again, this is just how the meta is right now, isn't
Yeah,
it? Like if you've noticed, a lot of these teams, they've decided to just let the support basically get the full first wave, get a quick level 2, while the core is basically in the side lanes just play musical lanes, moving up and bot. This is kind of swapping around, trying to find the ideal matchup. So let's see, in this case, I
So
think Dusa mid? Yeah, I think
yeah,
Dusa mid and Ursa and Kunkka kind of rotate safe and off lane. So it should be that Kunkka ideally against the Spectre lane.
yeah, it's looking like it. So Navi ran a Medusa in the last game up against Overyeni yesterday. That was also a mid for Magical. So I'd assume that maybe leave maybe just leave Blizzy alone in the safe lane and run a tri lane up against the Spectre, or maybe with the Nyx Assassin running around a little bit more. That's how I would do it, at least.
Yeah, I mean, we're probably gonna see like what Nyx and Oracle basically just in the one side lane, just doing their own thing.
Yeah.
Nyx is gonna get a quick level 2, and the one support is probably gonna like maybe chill around a bit, maybe down the mid. But the downside for the middle lane is if Pango gets enough out of the lane, he's actually going to be able to create a lot of space, enough for the Spectre, because I don't see how Navi really does too well against a very, very fast Spectre.
Yeah.
Like, even late game wise, it doesn't really scale amazing.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, it's Navi's lineup's a bit predicated on being able to stay ahead of the Spectre. If it goes ultra late game, the Spectre has everything that she wants, there's always going to be complications. You know, it's always going to be quite a task for Navi to try and deal with it. And at that point, you have to itemize maybe even into Silver Edge on Kunkka or something like silly like that to at least take away that passive to make it a little bit easier to burst her down. But we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. For now, Marden up top together with Sayuf on the Shadow Shaman, setting up in the offlane. Chu hanging around bottom together with Blizzy.
This is actually going to be that pause 4 Shaman, seeing as he actually bought the boots. It's going to be a pause 5 Shadow Demon, which is fine. Shadow Demon, like I said earlier on, can stack, clear camps. So he does scale okay as a 5. He's not going to be too poor.
So they're actually going to run this Ursa still in the safe lane, which is still fine. I mean, you're up against a Doom, 0 armor. The moment you get close on Crystallize, you just start chunking away with that Fury swipes. Snako can maybe set up for a little bit with the Fortune's End. Not right now. 3 against 2 is a little bit too much, so they get 2 bounty runes up there. Meanwhile, Dream, though, they try to be a bit fancy in the bottom lanes now, taking quite a bit of damage in turn, but they have nothing stop him from crossing that threshold. But he only has Tango, so he's gonna have to munch through a few of those to get back up to full. And stun actually connecting in with the torrent. Oh, nice little defensive disruption. King are making sure the Dream can stay alive, and he actually gives over Self too. That's a true support right there.
And that was his level 1 TP already used. I mean, if they do decide to like pressure one of the other 2 lanes, things of course could go very badly easily. And Ursa does have the edge against Doom early on, so this is between the Shaman and the Oracle right now to see who can bully the other out of the lane so that the chorus can get a proper start.
Yeah. Normally you'd say the Shaman has the advantage just because he's sitting for 74 whereas Snako is sitting for 42. That's a huge difference, but I think Oracle has the better range. So far so good, and there it is, a couple of right clicks here and there, man, super freaking low, trying to go for a bit of body blocks. The right clicks are real, and that's gonna be the first blood. As we said, 0 armor here up against Ursa, not ideal.
This top lane is not looking that good because if you look at Sayu, at the moment he doesn't have any regen. Okay, yeah, he does got more regen, so that changes things a little bit. Like Soneko picks up the early stick, anticipates a bit of spam, but for now, positioning game. Soneko's just gonna try and force the Shaman out. Maiden knows he cannot lane alone at all, in this lane at all.
Not even sure if you can lane with Sayu because Soneko is just at level 2, so you do have the Purifying Flames, full combo with the Fortune's End. I mean, once you're at level 3, that gets even better just because it straight up doubles the damage from that 3rd spell. But yeah, that's combined with the Ursa walking up. I don't think they can approach these heroes all that much, but now Soneko, not sure what he was thinking there. Will find himself an Invis rune, and or at least be able to deny it from the Thankfully and Nakotas. Actually going deep, Snake almost dead, and the last right click will do it.
Don't let it get to
Yikes.
you. You'll never had a chance.
I don't think Sneko expected this much burst damage from the Swashbuckler.
Well, guess you could have considered picking up the Invis rune, but he wouldn't have survived anyways. I mean, Pango did have Swashbuckle available off cooldown anyways. So top lane, you know, he's back to top. Maiden's gonna be a bit happy, at least getting a bit of a assist.
Well, so far, I mean, the good thing about Doom is you always have the Devour to catch up with. Have that bit of extra source of income from that. But the main problem is that you're not really slowing down yours at all. Well, Root over, Crystallize. Still does have the overpower available, doesn't want to commit it just yet. So just a bit of back and forth.
Yeah, and once again, you know, Shaman's just burnt all that region because Soneko is just doing support things. He's just here to, you know, Sire's just here to tank all the spells basically. He's here to soak all the damage so that Maiden can have a decent lane.
Yep.
But at that cost, this is why he has to play the 4 this game. And you know, bottom lane, you look at King R. He's just down to 1 Tango, 1 Tango, 1 Mango. Chu has enough region to last in the lane. He can keep spamming away. King R at some point is going to be forced out. And in Dreams, he actually went for early soaring. Didn't expect that on the Spectre.
I don't think I've seen that one before. I mean, you can kind of
top.
spam the dagger as a result. Oh, he's
Crystallized going down.
not sure that's
Alpha whip,
possible,
does it
but
work?
I guess so. Not necessarily the best creep to have in lane, like you'd rather have the region, but if you just
Nice
get
purge.
to right-click battles, it'd be worthwhile.
But that is the power of the Alpha Wolf, like, especially since Infernal Blade is percentage damage, it's actually going to hurt Crystallize quite a lot, as he only has 1 Tango and a Salve.
Yeah. Look for some revenge now, man. Back up to full health, but Crystallize starting to right-click away. The root is real. Are they gonna have enough damage though? Maybe Soneko getting a few more spells in, and he's looking for it, but the vision is not there. Crystallize super low again himself. He does have a Salve ready to go though. Not on bottom. Oh, the stun over on Spectre. Defensive disruption from King R. Dodging the torrent. No, Blizzy. Okay, almost gets that snipe. With the Tidebringer, and it's not quite over just yet. Dream does not have.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh, he's dead. Another click. Will do it. And choose to take that for himself. King R. Super low himself. No X marks available, just no mana for it.
I did have mana for the TP anyways, so meanwhile the 5-minute runes. Oh, Pango's gonna get them both. Looks like.
Big place. Big place. Swashbuckles forward, gets the bounty rune, jumps up this corner, and gets the other one. That's actually amazing. Sayuf gets 2 on the other side, so 4 for nothing.
Medusa's actually struggling a bit behind ever since Soneko gave away that kill to the Pango. And that's not what he wanted, but this Arcane Rune could be doing a bit of work.
Well, I've seen Medusa's just... Oh, wow. Almost get sniped. That was a bit dangerous there. Gonna need some extra regen. But even if Medusa doesn't do too well in lane, she just disappears into jungle, still has a good time. And this game's not really been necessary just yet. But I do gotta worry for Empire's sake. Like maybe they should try and focus a little bit more effort on shutting down Magical.
Oh, Invis Rune for Pango.
Middle
Waiting for him to get the level 6, of course. But it will take a while before the Spectre can actually get any actual damage output up, considering how he had to put 2 points into Dispersion, none into the Desolate. Oh, bot lane King R in trouble.
That's a disruption, trying to dodge someone, but it was just a setup for Blizzy. He was faking out the Torrent a little bit early. King R down below half health. But don't have any follow-up stuns or damage to work with right now. Another Tidebringer level 3 perhaps? And okay, that's just enough to kill him off. Chu, kinda low, his Kodos makes rotation and he does have his level 6 right now, doesn't even need it. Just a swashbuckle enough to finish up Chu, but that's probably a worthwhile trade.
That's
Fine,
Kodos getting his first Javelin, getting the debut of that, so it picks up his wand as well. Yeah. Man, I saw that coming the moment TP came in. It's kind of sad. I mean, why did the Shadow Demon walk back in? He did not have to die there at all.
I'm sure it's fine, and then you just get sniped across the map or a freaking Tidebringer. But yeah. It is what it is. Spectre getting a bit of space. I mean, yeah, this is certainly an uncommon item build. It's almost like you're a Phantom Assassin, right? Soul Ring, just a spend a dagger for CS. And as far as the version goes, it's actually what I've seen a lot more frequently, just because Desolate has been nerfed into the ground. Doesn't really
I think as well
seem to
it's
be all that
also
useful.
just a bit of HP regen, tiny bit of, you know, trademark stats.
Yeah.
So this is just gonna take a while. Yeah, they decided let's just leave the Spectre alone because Spectre is at this point where he's tanky enough, and it's more efficient for them to be hitting around the map to try and create that space, especially since Haunt is up. Let him like kind of zip back in, get a couple of kills.
Indeed. Disruption,
mid lane,
Magical goes in, but a true reaction coming in from Seneko as well. The Haunt
Yeah,
has been used, but no reality.
Oh
So
no.
Blizzy. Fun combo on Shadow Demon, so it looks like NaVi will get something
They have
out
expert.
of their rotations here. Massive commitment, but they get something out of it. Haunt on cooldown. It's not the biggest of deals early on, but just don't have to worry about the Spectre snagging extra kills anytime soon.
Oh,
Kodos.
crystallized. They were trying to jump on him. They do get the shackle.
Oh, there's a bit of a fight there. He's in a bit of trouble against 3 different heroes. Meanwhile, Kodos trying to make plays against Seneko. Looks like he's not as successful as his cohorts on the other side of the map. Empire just turning up the heat.
I mean, Kodos is trying to pressure this Medusa out lane because Medusa is still very squishy. You know, she's just on 2 Wraith bands, and if this bottle, well, of course, I mean, all his mana is gone. He did take the full damage from that Mystic Snake, but he's still doing what he needs to do, which he's bringing all these rotations away to the middle lane, which means that that's some pressure off the Spectre. And at that point in the Empire, I would say at the moment they're doing what needs to be done. Unlike NaVi, where their game plan for their draft is you want to create space for the Medusa, that's not working out. They're playing very reactive to Empire right now.
The upside is that Medusa does have, or does tend to have an easier time just farming the jungle, just because you have this inbuilt farming mechanism with the split shots. Where Spectre doesn't really have that. There's a Radiance queued up after the Dreadful Dream, but it's not going to be there for quite a while. But it is going to be down to these other heroes, man. Does find the Doom over on Kunkka with Kodos rotating in. It's going to be the easiest kill of their lives. So yeah, I mean, it is Empire for sure who are getting the better end of this in terms of momentum, in terms of putting on the pressure, not just in one lane, but everywhere.
And he just picked up his drums, so that's gonna be really big. Oh, bottom lane, Kodos in trouble.
That's nice. He might actually be in trouble, Kodos, with the roll in. Bit of a south regen, but it's a good position for the Pangolier. A couple of TPs in, and now, well, defense swashbuckle, shoot, tags it up with a bit of a stun, but only level 2 spike cappers. Not enough for a follow-up. Kodos will be fine. Martin's still hanging around. No Doom, but still, oh, what the hell?
Wow.
What? How? They're just chewing through them. What the hell's happening?
That's the power of the javelin.
You get it
That
chewing,
extra damage.
chewing through chew.
You're gonna get a tower.
What
What?
a kill. I mean, he just runs him down. Face boots, max out Scorched Earth. Talk to me about this one.
Soneko has no boots at all. He's running around
no.
at 504 GPM. His entire existence can barely afford a pair of boots. I feel so bad for him right now in Maiden. He's very fat.
Yeah.
Like, the Shaman did what he needed to do to win the top lane, and that's why this Doom is super fat. And he's even feeling that he can afford to go for a minus just because he knows that they're hitting their timings. They're 3,000 gold ahead. The economy is looking real healthy. They just took a tier 1 tower, which means that very soon you're going to find very limited space for NaVi to farm because the Dire jungle is already very exposed. Look at that ward. They placed it so much earlier on. Oracle and Medusa are not able to find any kills. And Kunkka, he hasn't had any luck with rotations.
Feels like NaVi, they're just playing on the back foot for now. Chu is pinging out Martin here. They want to get some sort of revenge. Yumi Heroes going in, but King Ar's also there, ready to respond. They also see Blizzy walking in. Crystallizes Chu now, reveals himself with the boat coming in. Alright, that ought to be enough. Alright, that's a mega kill streak for Blizzy. So, right back on track. Especially if they can somehow bring down the Tier 1 tower, but they don't really have the easiest tool to do that with.
Whew, nowhere for him to run, and okay. So you got Serpent wards up in 25 seconds. Now to see if Empire will actually make the call to defend the bottom lane. I mean, they do know that there are a couple of heroes off the map. This is the Nyx Assassin we are talking about. He has Vendetta up again. They need to keep doing this if NaVi is to find their way back into this game.
Either you defend bottom or just make a play for the mid tier 1 tower. Arguably a bit more important.
Oh, he has a Maelstrom now. Jesus, this Pango is fat. So smoke gank, they have to do. Ideally, they want to find the Medusa, kill the core. Or the Ursa. Ursa is having really bad timing. He's forced to go for early jumps.
Oh,
nice
making a play
carapace.
over on Kodos, seeing the slices there with the right clicks, and reinforcements are coming in. The smoke rotation from Empire a little bit too late to connect, but they still find the Doom over on Konka. Sayuf on the side. Crystallize also dropping very, very low indeed, with Dream just haunting in, sweeping up. It's one of these two kills, and hey, Serpent Ward's in a perfect position to position this into a tower. I mean, ideally they wouldn't lose Kodos there, but it turned out to be a noble sacrifice.
Beautiful X mark, and now this will most probably lead to tier 1, but NaVi, you know, they don't want to give this up. They need to hold this tower no matter what. This tier 1 tower means access to both jungles.
Magical. Oh my god, Curry almost dies to the illusions.
Tower? Alright.
All goes down. Unable to deny it. I mean, it's kind of hard up against the Serpent Walls, but at least they'll be able to farm some of them up. Get some extra money their way.
Meanwhile, Pango picked up his Maelstrom, Spectres on 1.8k gold. The Radiance is actually going to be pretty big, but my only concern for him is that this could easily set up for, you know, an easy carapace if you're the Nyx Assassin.
Yeah.
They aren't even trying for the smoke anchor right now.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Speaking of Nyx Assassin, I basically forgot that, or I almost forgot that Nyx Assassin's ultimate also applies break. So it's your solution to the Spectre. You don't even need a Silver Edge in this particular game to get rid of the dispersion, which eventually, once Spectre gets super tanky, is
Oh no.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Dragon,
attack.
I'm not sure if you noticed, but I think our Shadow Shaman kind of mistook an Observer for a Sentry.
okay.
He replaced it at the exact same time. Someone's misclicked. That's a bit of gold, which he can afford to spend. He's got 3 sentries, but I'm not sure what's happening. But big thing for him right now is that he has the Ether Lens, which means that they have good control for Crystallize.
Oh yeah. Shackle range is ridiculous. For now, everyone's just staying on their side of the map. That being said, Chu, he's constantly looking for options here, but Sayuf. Okay, let's just add a rune time too. Nice little disruption to secure it. And Chu super freaking low, slowed down by King R. Bit of help there from Seneko, and a bit of extra heals. False Promise should be enough to keep Chu safe. I think he's gonna live here. No, never mind. Misinterpreted that little orb.
Nice use of the disruption. Alright, but I mean, as I said, you know, this is a very quiet game for Kunkka. Right now he feels he actually maxed out the X mark over the tiebreaker, which means that he feels they need setup disabled.
Yep.
And that's something which we did mention from the draft. Both sides are kind of lacking a little bit. Oh, they want to go into him here. They have to Doom and then drums.
Time and time again, Blizzy has been the recipient of this Doom, so like, also the reason why we haven't really seen all that many boats. We've only seen the one to kill Martin down bottom earlier. Every other time he's just been the target of this Doom.
Precious bounty.
Now X-Marks safe. More and more people, more and more heroes start to rotate down towards the bottom lane. Seneko even smoked up. They're expecting an aggressive movement there from Team Empire. It looks like it's exactly what they have in mind. Sayuf ready to go with another set of Serpent Wards. But, oh, nice silence actually, Lizzie. Take a bit of damage. And Serpent Wards are being dropped down. Do you want to take
They're
this
just
fight
losing
now?
tier 1s. I don't think so. They're not ready for it. Ursa, he's already top. And there's just no angle for the Nyx Assassin to go in. Because Empire, they've been so diligent at just placing all these sentry wards at all these choke points that every time, or any angle that Nyx can try to approach for a setup, it's just not there. And the other two cores, which are the Kunkka and the Ursa, who are meant to be creating that space for the Medusa, there's just no way. So they need to find an angle to try and find that lucky smoke with the boat.
Yeah.
But at the moment, you know, Empire, they're gonna be making a moves top.
That has been scouted out by this Observer Ward, so yeah, Crystallize immediately TPing out. Spectre Horn actually giving vision ever so briefly. Not enough Martin to be able to cancel that TP.
Wow, just look at how fat the cores are on the side of Empire. Everyone hitting the timings. I think Dream's probably going to be getting that relic very soon. Probably get rid of something.
There it is.
There we go, relic.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Korda's also looking for the Diffusal Blade, so just going full in on the Swashbuckler.
Crystallize does get Navi's first tier 1 tower, so maybe that's an opening for them, but you can see Sai, he knows that once that tier 1 tower is down, no one else showing on the map, he needs to get out. I think King R is baiting, yeah, he's baiting.
Navi trying to do the math right now, but the Radiant scan confirms that there are some shenanigans going on here. Not gonna make a play from it. Instead, they're actually grouping around this tier 2 bottom magical. Got himself a DD rune. He's also been keeping up in terms of farm quite nicely, at top of the charts actually. By about 1,000 gold has the Manta style completed, so trying to leverage this the Stone Gaze, just the safety that that brings to the team fight. To
and he does have a double damage rune. So, alright, I think they just want to wait, be patient. You know, it is tier 2 tower, but they still have the tier 1s up, so it's not that big of a loss. And I think they're just waiting on the Spectre's Radiance before they decide to try and make another play. Wait for Haunt, which is another minute as well.
Yeah. Should line up quite nicely. And it's going to be very early Radiance actually, so it's not necessarily going to be too easy to deal with for especially heroes like Oracle, or even just Ursa and Medusa, who are relying on being able to hit people. This mischance could make a huge difference in any big team fight. Hype on Kunkka though, that's actually pretty good. At least you won't really care too much about the damage.
So we've got that utility Kunkka going on. Shadow Blade, okay, he wants the Silver's Edge, if he can even find the farm to build into it. So, meanwhile, update, Dream, he's gonna get that Radiant in about 100 more gold, middle lane. Can they actually fight? They want to try to press for the tier 1.
Would certainly be a big price to take off the map, and just gives you so much access to Roche Pit to the other side of the map. So I mean that's still on the field for Empire, it's certainly super helpful for them. How do you find an angle here? I mean, King R can always just counter-initiate in case you go on somebody. Spectre Radiance is online right now. You always have to worry about the Doom just taking one of your heroes out of the teamfight altogether. And then Kordos is still a force to be reckoned with right now. You don't really want to mess with this Pengle here.
What you do now is, if you're Crystallized, you just hope that you get that BKB and that 10-second BKB duration actually yields returns. Because at the moment, the damage output is coming out solely from them. They're taking prolonged fights.
Yep.
Unlike, you know, Team Empire, where they can take both prolonged fights and instant skirmishes. So this is something which they need to consider right now about finding pickoffs. That's what Navi needs to do. But Empire, I have to give it credit because they're playing so disciplined. Looking at the way the supports have been moving around the map, they've always stayed either behind a core or they're staying in groups of 3.
Yep. They're not really giving Navi an opening to find some easy kills to get back into the swing of things. I mean, the only reason the net worth is as even as it is, only slightly in favor of Empire, is because Magical is just farming up a storm here, as you would expect Medusa to do. But that alone may or may not be enough to end up winning their team fights, because the distribution, if you look at the net worth distribution here, it's very comfortable for Team Empire. As you said before, all 3 cores on a very comfortable, similar level. Whereas Ursa, certainly also a hero that kind of wants to be ahead and wants to dictate the pace of the game. Kunkka in some ways as well. Not as reliant on money, just because the boat combo is always going to be useful. But it's certainly not as comfortable as it is for Empire right now.
I mean, okay, like you said, you know, Magical's farming up Storm for Navi. So this should be the game plan now that they get the 10-second BKB. They want to smoke, they want to try and force that fight. But we might be seeing it very soon around that shrine area. Especially since right now Ursa, he needs to kill the Shadow Demon or the Shaman first.
Ooh, smoke on smoke action here. Gonna run into each other any moment.
Or
do they know? There it is. They find it out now. Navi is on the low ground. The Doom comes out into the horns, into everything. That's a stun coming in from Chu, but it's the boat. Might just give them enough time. Martin in the middle, but Kodos finding so much work here is Dream. And a couple more right clicks here with the Doom on top of Medusa still. They will be able to finish him off. Before Magic can do anything else. Triple kill for Kodos as all is said and done. Crystallize on the run. As Empire didn't drop a single hero. Crystallize, not even done yet either. Sayu with the blink forward into the shackles. The slows, the hexes, everything. Gonna be thrown down on this Crystallize hero. Ultra kill for Kodos when all is said and done. And this was the perfect fight for Empire to take. They got a bit lucky with Navi also going for a smoke, just sitting on the low ground ever so slightly. They had the initiation advantage and they had a pretty good position for Pangolier to roll around in as well. Doom and Medusa to start the fight off with, it's ridiculous.
I mean, the only thing to say about that team fight is that NaVi, these guys, whatever could have gone wrong for them, went wrong. They had the win conditions, but they just couldn't because of the waiting move. Just by going down those stairs, that actually cost them the fight as well. So,
Chu blinking in. He's snatching the Aegis! The board comes through! But where's the damage here? Pangolier kinda low actually with a few more spells being thrown out. One more click will do it and he is down for the count. What the hell?
wow.
Alright, Navi redeemed themselves right there. Chu making the biggest plays of his life perhaps. Well, certainly the biggest plays of this game so thus far. Situation's not over yet. Sayu X back. Just gonna have to let the Shadow Shaman go. That's gonna be a secondary kill.
And that's the comeback because Magical took that tier 1 tower because Empire didn't get that Aegis. NaVi just means that they have actually found their way back into the game. And this time they need to protect their Medusa. If he gets the Stone Gaze off, they actually win that fight. And the good thing about that is Crystallize, he did not use his BKB. So he still has a 9-second BKB for them. And they just took 2 towers after that one fight. Big stuff for NaVi.
Yeah. Well, let's see his daughter for you. One team wins a huge team fight and then immediately turns around. Bit of a roller coaster graph as a result there as well, at least in the net worth department.
What's really funny that no matter how many rosters there are for Empire, I always hear the same thing, the classic Empire though. I'm hoping this is not the case.
It's a little too early to say. I mean, they've gotten a good team fight once, they can do it again, I'm sure. But Spectre, even with the Radiant stream, has not really been able to accelerate his farm as much as you would maybe expect. So, still looking towards the Manta style. Afterwards, maybe going towards the heart or anything. But where's Medusa? Well, 2k gold towards the butterfly, and this is the point where she starts to hit really hard. If she's in Doom, that is.
So now waiting for Doom to get his I'm pretty sure both sides, they're waiting for the BKBs. They're going to be playing around each other, but NaVi, they want to fight. They just won one fight. If they can win this, it might actually tilt Empire just a little bit. And double damage is of course expired on Blizzy. I think this is where they want to fight. They have to. But look at Empire, man. Look at the way they're setting this bait up.
Will it be worthwhile though? I mean, Navi must know that this is a bait. They must know that Empire is waiting behind them. Spectre can always
Spectre's
haunt
on
him.
is at the ready.
That is actually going first here. Magical gets a BKB off as well as the ultimate before Martin can drop in the Doom. That's a good start already. Is Navi, they burst down the Shadow Shaman first. The Kodos actually blocked inside his roll for a moment. This is not a fun position for Empire to fight in, but now BKBs expire. Starting to turn around a little bit with Dream, trying to finish up Snake, but False Promise keeps him safe for the time being. Now Crystallize finds a couple of clicks on top of Spectre and now tracks him down inside the trees. Another slow, another dagger though, but there's no way to go.
Wow.
Double kill
No
for Magical.
And that was the classic example of why I said that if Medusa gets gets the Stone Gaze off, they win the fight. And because that was the 10-second BKB, the Doom basically did nothing, and Pango's ult negated immediately by the Stone Gaze.
Yep.
That was an example of basically a really good team fight for NaVi.
Those of Empire kind of starting it off nicely as well with the horns just before NaVi connected themselves, so they had a bit of that initiation advantage, that chaos being created, but Martin could not get in range for the Doom in time. It was a bit sluggish there, perhaps it's okay.
Is under attack.
Poor old Shadow Demon. The Viking arc. Well, maybe not just yet. It's disruption now, a few more spells. Axe back into another Tight Ring and Chew, taking a lot of damage in turn though. So he needs some help from Soneko, but he does have it available.
I think this is something we've probably forgotten for a while, but Chu still has their Aegis.
Alright, yeah.
We actually forgot about it for a while.
I mean, you don't see many Nyx Assassins with an Aegis in inventory, so can't really fault us for that, but yeah, it still has 40 seconds on it or so.
Alright, so now next thing you know, look at their gold swing, man. It's not much, but NaVi, for the first time in the game, they actually have the gold lead. And this Medusa is starting to look real scary. And once he gets that butterfly up, I actually start to question, how does Empire cope with the Medusa?
Yeah. It's gonna be a bit hard for sure, especially since, again, Dream is not really keeping up. Dream has had a lot of issues in this game. I mean, sure, you got a very well-timed Radiance, but they weren't really able to transition it into the big kills time and time again. I mean, it was just this one team fight, which was immediately nullified, essentially, in its effect by that Roche fight afterwards. NaVi just seem to have the better handle on, like, the strategic layer a little bit. They know where to move, they know how strong they are, they know what kind of angles they need to take. They know how to take these team fights as well.
So Empire, they're way back into the game. Okay, one other thing to also take away from that fight which they lost top lane was that, yes, Spectre started the fight at the Haunt, but his team was not ready. They were too far behind, because when he jumped in, they tried to get a Doom off. I feel like they just had no vision of Medusa, because this time you could tell that Medusa stayed further behind. Nyx just went straight the back line. So this is something which Doom, at some point you're going to have to consider maybe even a Shiva's God, just so you can get that sort of AoE vision.
Oh.
Because it's about who gets to jump first in the fight, not about who starts their spells first.
Let's see whether Empire can find their jump as NaVi. They'll be setting up for high ground push eventually, even if end up backing off now. And Empire, they actually want to try and surprise him. Another smoke up. NaVi, yeah, they know that's maybe it's a little bit too dangerous to just go up there. No vision, with no clue of where Empire is actually at right now.
And sweet.
If Soneko can get to an earn this game, or Spirit Vessel, that'd be pretty huge. But they understand that they don't want to be anywhere near the top half of the map at the moment, just because they have no vision there. So NaVi, this is basically their game to lose. Because remember when I mentioned from the draft early on, Empire do not have the kind of heroes to deal with a Medusa late game.
Yep.
So, alright, Dragon. I think this is kind of like the Caster's Curse.
What do you mean, like Medusa late game? I mean,
I think I may have jinxed the Empire a little bit.
Maybe.
Just
This is always going to happen here. Chu initiates on the Shadow Demon. Didn't quite get the double stun. Madden goes in with the BKB, looks for a Doom target and drops it on to the Ursa, but Magical just ready to go. And Ursa doesn't even care about the Doom, they're just clicking. Double kill, so far so good. Doom a little bit tankier, and Dream still trying to do what he can up against Magical. Actually chewing through a lot of the mana. The 6-8 comes through, nice little bounces there from Kodos, and Magical's actually pretty damn low. He's gonna need some help. Crystallize continuing to try and right click, now transferring over towards Dream, but Magical's actually down for the count somehow. Kodos able to do the work with the DD rune. So try and keep him alive a little bit longer. Madden also still staying alive. Continually regening, running down Blizzy. Damn. I did not expect Kodos to come out of the gate like this, to be quite honest. It's not often that the Pangolier scales that well, but they do a full 5-man wipe.
Whew, alright. Reverse Caster's Curse.
Ridiculous.
But
yeah,
this
also did a
time,
lot of damage, I guess. 4.8k,
yeah,
3.6k on Pango.
You gotta give credits to the Shaman. He went straight for the Oracle, meaning he never got the false promise off. Soneko was a non-factor at all the entire fight. So that was really good, because there was no false promise, there was no way to save the Medusa. And this time they were pretty smart. They actually doomed the Ursa first, before he got the BKB off. So this way they isolated 2 heroes, they had enough time to focus on the Medusa. A bit of help as well from the Radiant's miss, right?
Yep. Here we go again. Try and make a play for Roche. NaVi, not the longest respawn times anymore, and they know exactly that this is going on. Can they do it again?
There's no way he does this a second time. There's no way he does this a second time.
What were you just saying about Caster's curses? There's getting a few of these illusions. That's slowing this down, like Empire not completely committing for Roche like they did last time. So now being in our position. Take another fight. There's no Doom available for another 20 seconds, so wanna go crazy, should do it now. Shackles actually initiate on the Assassin. The early false promise comes in on Chu as, oh god, Magical just controlled up by Kodas. He doesn't get the BKB off the boat coming through as well, but there's just no damage coming into Magical instead. Oracle dies first, crystallized on low health, and now with the BKB, he has to start going Magical. Also, no mana. Has to use the BKB to just run away. Now gets doomed. As the BKB is about to expire, slowed down by Kodas. Double kill for the Doom, and Chu barely able to get his way out. Make his way out. Lizzie also on the run. Stream, eventually they should be able to track him down too.
Slow and painful death. And just like that, Empire reinstate their lead back into this game. But also, I don't think it was the brightest of ideas to kind of walk into that tiny narrow path into the Pangolier out, even as a Medusa.
Yeah,
so basically,
that was the worst thing that could have happened there. Magical was a non-factor in this fight. So they had all the time in the world to just clean up the supports up top.
He actually, and I think you could tell that Magical, he was probably like, guys, help me out. Chu trying for a steal, not this time. Alright, so no Caster's Curse. But the good thing about it was that you could have 3 heroes on the other side isolating the Ursa. So he was basically running away, not able to get any damage off. They just went straight for the Medusa afterwards. And yeah, just really well played. I mean, NaVi, you could tell that Soneko, he was forced to pop the false promise unwillingly, just because he had to try and save the Nyx.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, I don't know, very very odd way for NaVi to engage there for sure. Yeah, you want to use your false promise for your cores and not for lowly Chu support. I mean, sure, I mean, it's very useful to have Nyx Assassin staying alive in these fights, just consistently throwing out stuns and whatnot, but just meant that Magical had no help whatsoever on the other side of that Roche pit, and lose the fight. And now, I mean, this entire game, this gold graph wasn't higher than like 4k either side, but now it's up to 12k. Empire get a huge lead as a result of this play experience, also heading in towards the 20k mark. And a solid 88% win chance according to Dota Plus.
Well, Dota Plus has been wrong before. This could be one of those exceptions. You never know. It is a Medusa after all. Even if it's like a lane of racks down, Medusa can always come back.
Dota Plus is never wrong. What are you talking about?
Oh. Gavin, please. Oh well. So, still trying to get into that MKB. Oh dear, Magical, you might want to get out of there.
Soneko gets hacks up immediately. Serpent Wolf's committed. That's a bit overkill perhaps, but they're gonna get the skill Magical. With the BKB TP out, will be absolutely fine. So let's BKB and an Oracle for Spectre Haunt. Guess you'll take that, but it's still super freaking farm. It's a level 23 Spectre with a heart and an Aegis. Can probably still go high ground here if they wanted to.
Is this a buyback, however? This actually... No, it's not, it's not. Still okay. Doom was trying to find Crystallize, maybe cancel a TP if he was lucky. Blizzy trying to cut the creep wave. He has to be careful. He could actually just end up going down here. They need the boat trump for this particular fight. Hello, sir.
Well,
right?
Gonna X myself back to safety. Oh shit. There's Doom right there, yeah.
They're unstoppable. Ownage.
That's certainly a good kill to get. Also, pushing on this bottom lane, just covering the bases, you know, just make sure that if you do end up going for high ground push, you don't actually end up losing a lot of health points on your own towers in turn.
Alright, so Empire, you know, this this game is basically theirs to lose at this point, I guess. I mean, you have the Diffusal Blade up onto Dream real soon. It's gonna help against the Medusa, obviously. And he's gonna try to be into a Satanic. At some point, he's probably gonna have to try to swap those treads out. I don't even think that the Satanic is big enough of a game changer.
Yeah, I mean, it won't be. Magical just gets controlled up throughout these entire fights, time and time again. Right? Can be as
And
fast
they're
as you
shoving
want
in
to be.
2
If you're
lanes.
just perma-stun, then it doesn't really help you all that much.
You've got the Grease and Pango, Bennington, Octarine Core. This guy, he's basically just the biggest distraction possible. Usually that would have been the Nyx assassin's job. Ice
Dire's
Frog,
top
please,
tower
nerf
is
this
under
guy. I
attack.
don't want to see Pango in my pubs anymore. Pretty please.
Still high ground we were talking about. It's a bit of a different beast. Let's see whether NaVi can mount a defense here in this Dream. Well, with the Serpent Wards also, forcing out the Glyph. Doing their best to chip away. Martin also taking over the front lines a little bit. Shivas either way. But they can't really go on the Spectre. I mean, it's not worth it. You have almost 40,000 health points to chew through. Not just once, but twice because of this Aegis. Now Dream. He's just leveraging that to its fullest. He's just clicking buildings. He knows that they can't deal with him. Now on
Yeah,
a
they're
half
trying to
health, he backs
poke
off.
him
Gonna be
low.
healing up and sure they lose.
They
the
are trying to
Serpent
poke
Wards,
him
but
low enough so that the Aegis might expire. But oh dear.
It's actually
You
only
don't
30 more seconds, so that might actually be not too far.
Wait, he
away.
has Haunt now. You can actually just TP back. Oh, they give him the clarity, so that's fine. Oh, but look at this Pango. What the hell? Oh, the next level play. This is so sneaky.
Hiding inside the trees.
And they have the vision as well. They put the sentry down. Oh, it's out. It's out of range. This could be bad. Really bad.
Well, Aegis just expired now.
Do they want to go? They pop the Scorcher. If they have the Doom, they have all their
Dire's
ults.
middle tower is under attack.
There we go.
Oh, they
they
know.
bring in. There's the Spectre Horn. They
Oh.
immediately kill off the Oracle. This is the instant buyback though. The Shackles over on Shu, trying to burst him down as well. There it is. Another buyback. So far so good. The board comes through. Magical needs to do some pretty good work, but the disruption slows him down. Even though Spectre is stoned up, but nice little
beautiful
torrents
torrent.
everywhere. But Dream's just way too tanky. He just stands in the middle of the fight, doing all the work that NaVi needs to be doing towards Empire. And Kodos also still very healthy. They're trying to make their way back to the fountain, and they're barely able. They're not even gonna make it on Blizzy at least. And now another swashbuckle. 3 buybacks forced out. All he got was a Shadow Shaman.
Barracks are under attack.
Dream is gonna heal up very, very soon. Martin, the only one left on the front lines, does get X back. They need to get something more here. They need to get this Doom at the very least, and looks like they will be successful. King R also cancelled. And that TP attempt that was very. Wow, they actually also got a gem and they haven't lost the racks. Like, what? It cost them a lot, but they actually mounted a successful defense.
A little something at haste.
Very, very overly aggressive
for
play.
my
But still, if you're Empire, you're pretty happy just because, you know, you made NaVi break the bank just to hold that base. But if you're NaVi, I mean, the bright side is you did not lose a lane of racks at all. So this game will continue to drag on. Let the Medusa hopefully get to that stage where she can just kind of carry the game. But as you can see, she's already starting to struggle to deal against the Spectre. And he doesn't even have that level 25 talent yet. Okay, now he does. The 6% dispersion. I don't envy anyone standing around that Spectre.
Yeah, no. 28% total now, so it's. And again, you have to chew through so many health points. Just if you do the math on this, it's a lot of dispersion damage that's gonna start to accumulate on top of the Radiance. On top of just the illusion right clicks and whatnot, so it's. The thing is, like, NaVi, sure they defended, but they cannot do that a second time. They do have buyback and crystallize, and that's about it. Medusa just doesn't have the money because Magical just finished up the Satanic.
Doom is actually going for a Refresher Orb. I kind of would have thought you would have considered, say, a Halberd just because you can use it on the Medusa. And, obviously BKB does not dispel the disarm. Nyx still trying to farm towards his next item. Chu has just stagnated in terms of itemization the whole time. And Oracle actually went into an Aeon disc just so that he can't be burst down anymore.
Oh, yeah.
But at this point where he's only, 1800 HP, not that too, not too squishy ultimately, but considering how many heroes they have, they can just get on top of him. Man, so Nico's gonna have a very, very hard game trying to move around in these fights.
We're getting to this late game Dota where it comes down to seconds, but comes down to just casting the right spell at the right time. So Seneko with that Aeon Disc might just allow him to get that crucial false promise off to allow Magical to just
Dire's
finishing
top
people
shrine
off.
is
But
under attack.
well, that's a lot of big ifs at this point. Especially if Doom ends up finishing that refresher. I mean, Halberd would be perhaps a safer choice, a more reliable choice.
Dire's top shrine
Something that can
has
use a little bit
fallen.
more often. It's, thing is with a double Doom, gonna get it here with a refresher shot anyway, but double Doom is kind of a win condition. Doom both Medusa and Crystal and the other side. You probably don't have to worry too much.
I mean, I can't see the appeal. Refresher Orb, Double Doom is always so good to play around with. Actually, did he get the Devour Oh, he didn't go for the Devour can target Ancients thing. I would have thought maybe he would have liked the Golem passive, the one which gives you the 15% HP percentage. That'd be pretty nice. Or even getting the Prowler. The Prowler is so good when you blink into the Shivas and the stop. Very underrated talent actually.
I'm just happy with the extra damage aura, I guess.
Reliable damage, that's what he wants.
Yeah.
So the high ground push is inevitable. It's coming now. And they have a refresher shot as well, but this time they gave it to the Spectre. They actually didn't give it to the Shadow Shaman or the Doom. These are two heroes which could use it very well.
Speaking of Spectre, Dream also went
Oh,
for
he
a
actually-
Cypher Vice. What do you make of that? Oh god, no. DD rune. The rune of
likes
many
it just
wins. Ooh.
Double D. He's gonna be pushing in the middle lane. You can always join him in any time if with his haunt. But back to your question, I think it's a good item. You can never say no to extra disables.
Well, it is. We see it in action. Oracle is controlled up, and Seneko with the Aeon Disc keeps himself safe. Meanwhile, the boat in the back, not really doing too much, but enough. So far, the Doom on Medusa. Not gonna be enough here. Doom, the actual Doom, actually ends up dying first. Pangoli actually stoned up for a moment. Kodos is still very much alive with high levels of shield crash. A few more stunts over on the Spectres. That was the second haunt coming through, and that looks like it finally breaks NaVi's back. Of course, have to buy back, but these supports as well as the Kunkka, they do not have it available anymore, and finally, they transfer over towards these racks. Doom himself also brought back into the fight.
Are fortified. Dire's top barracks
It
are
was
under
just
And of
throwing
course, Saya
every
did-
single item, every advantage that they had up the high ground. Was just too much for NaVi to deal with right now.
And they gave him the refresher shot, which means that he does have the second pair of wards. This is going to be another lane of racks, potentially the game, or even Megas. Well, look at that. There's just nothing they can do. There's nothing which saves Magical from that Doom. That's the only target which really matters.
Dire's middle barracks has fallen.
Well, straight for Megas.
Dire's bottom
Magical.
tower
Another
is under
BKB is available. Crystallized in the sign. This is going to be the last hurrah, but they're starting off with the illusions here. Medusa working against herself. And it's just going to ignore for the time being. Kodos focusing on the Oracle. Crystallized BKB TPing out in front of everybody. But
Oracle fed.
the bash is actually Kodos taking so much damage. So it looks like they're slowing down. Another roll. They can't even make it back to the fount. The meteor
Ouch.
hammer. What? What's the meteor hammer?
is under attack.
The meme
What the
hammer
hell?
for the memes, dude. It's the Pango, dude. Pango.
Pango. Oh god, I did. Oh, what a finish. What a finish.